May 31st, 1916. On land, the conflict was bogged down in trench warfare. Neither the Allies nor the Central Powers were able to make significant gains. At sea, Allied forces dominated Germany with a crippling blockade. Determined to stay away from the war, Ernst escaped to the solitude offered by the depths of the sea. It was here below the surface that he scavenged, hoping to eke out a living.
The Battle of Jutland and War at Sea. On May 31st and June 1st, 1916, the largest sea battle of World War I took place. Two fleets fought for control of the North Sea, the British Empire's Royal Navy Grand Fleet against the Imperial German Navy, Kaiserliche Marine. 250 ships of all types were involved, and while the death toll was higher on the British side, 6,097 lives as opposed to 2,551, there was no clear winner of this battle. The younger German Navy avoided a similar large-scale direct confrontation until the end of the war. The picture shows ships sailing in convoy, a strategy adopted to be less prone to submarine attacks. Dreadnoughts. Naval war in 1914 relied on fleets of large, high-sea ships, known as dreadnoughts. The success of the Allied blockade in the North Sea, the failure of the Dardanelles, and the mixed results of the Jutland reshaped the naval landscape. The Germans invested in underwater technology with fast U-boats, establishing a fleet of 128 U-boats by as early as February 1917, while the Allies armed merchant ships. The US Navy had at its disposal a large fleet of escort and light ships that deployed rapidly to Europe to protect merchant ships once the US entered the war in 1917. Total naval warfare. The Allies had the upper hand on the seas as early as 1914. They used the advantage to attack German colonies or open new front lines, such as the Dardanelles in 1915. In an attempt to break through an ongoing blockade, the German Empire launched an underwater war that turned into total naval warfare at the end of January 1917. Its fleet of 150 U-boats would sink millions of tons of ships and cargo, mainly in the northern Atlantic Ocean. The picture shows two sailors manning this anti-submarine gun. Navy propaganda poster. This Navy poster urges civilians to donate glasses, binoculars, spyglasses, and any objects with lenses to the war effort. U-boat propaganda poster. In its first battle, the Unterseeboot or U-boat U-9 sank 3 warships within an hour. With only 28 submarines in service, the German Navy desperately needed to build more. Propaganda was employed to convince the public to fund the war effort. Diving helmet. This helmet is part of one of the first diving suits that didn't require a surface air pump. The German firm Brüder was one of the first to sell autonomous diving equipment. Thanks to a compressed gas cylinder, a precursor to the diving cylinder, the diver could remain autonomous without tubes running to the surface. Sextant. Sailors in World War I had to navigate using maps, stars, and visual landmarks. They used a sextant like this one to measure between points and calculate their location on a map. Fishing net. To combat naval mines, the British government turned to local fishermen for aid. These brave civilians used fishing nets to drag mines away from Royal Navy warships.
As his boat settled on the seabed, Ernst began to come to terms with the war's inevitable, all-consuming power. Defeated and alone, he could feel the Jutland waters' cold embrace tightening around him.